Chapter 11. Up the Tree Again. Everyone crowded into Silky's room inside the tree. "How did we get back to the tree?" asked Rick in amazement. Silky told him. "We found you all asleep on the big bed, and we rubbed some of the whiz-away ointment on it. The very last bit left, and it whizzed away here. Oh, and we wetted the snowman's sand so he couldn't throw it into any of our eyes and make us go to sleep. What's-his-name was clever too. He cut the bottom of the sack with his scissors and found handfuls of dry sand and threw them at the Sandman himself," said the angry pixie. "And he went right off to sleep and couldn't use his powers on any of us any more." "It was all Rick's fault," said Joe. We said we didn't want to go to any more lands, and he went up there and got caught by the Sandman, so of course we had to go after him." "Sorry," said Rick. "Anyway, everything's all right now, and I won't do it again." "We'd better go home," said Beth. "It must be getting late. Goodness knows when we'll come back again." "Silky, goodbye, everybody. Come and see us if we don't come to see you first." They all slid down the slippery slip at the top speed, and they walked home talking about their latest adventure. "It was so strange being awake and having dreams," said Franny. "Do you remember the muffin that turned into kittens? I wish a really nice land would come to the top of the tree," said Joe, "like the land of Take What You Want. That was fun. I wonder if it'll ever come again." For about a week the children did not even go into the enchanted wood. For one thing, they were very busy helping their parents, and for another, they felt that they didn't want any more adventures for a little while. And then a note came from Silky and Moonface. This is what it said. "Dear Beth, Franny, Joe and Rick, we know that you don't want any more adventures just yet, but you might like to know that there is a very exciting land at the top of the faraway tree just now. It is the land of Do As You Please, even nicer than the land of Take What You Want. We are all going there tonight, so if you want to come just before midnight, and you can go with us. We will wait for you till then. Love from Silky and Moonface." The children read the note, one after the other. Their eyes began to shine. "Shall we go?" said Franny. "Better not," said Joe. "Something silly is sure to happen to us. It always does." "Oh, Joe, do let's go," said Beth. "You know how exciting the enchanted wood is at night, too, with all the fairy folk about and the faraway tree lit with lanterns and things. Come on, Joe, say we'll go." "I really think we'd better not," said Joe. "Rick might do something silly again." "I would not," said Rick in a temper. "It's not fair of you to say that." "Don't quarrel," said Beth. "Well, listen. If you don't want to go, Joe, Franny and I will go with Rick. He can look after us." "Phew, Rick wants looking after himself," said Joe. Rick pulled a face at Joe, and Joe pulled a face back. "Oh, don't," said Beth. "You're not in the land of Do As You Please now." That made everyone laugh. "Sorry, Joe," said Rick. "Be a sport. Let's all go tonight. Or, at any rate, let's go up the tree and hear what Silky and Moonface can tell us about the new land. And if it sounds all dangerous, we won't go, okay?" "All right then," said Joe, who really did not want to go. who really did want to go just as badly as the others, but felt that he shouldn't keep leading them into danger. "All right, we'll go up and talk to Silky and Moonface, but remember, if I decide not to go with them, then there's to be no grumbling." "We promise, Joe," said Beth. And so it was settled. They would go to the enchanted wood that night and climb the faraway tree to see their friends. It was exciting to slip out of bed at 11:30 and dress. It was very dark because there was no moon. "We shall have to take a pocket light," said Joe. "Are you all ready? Now, don't make a noise, or you'll wake Mother and Father." They all crept downstairs and out into the dark, silent garden. An owl hooted nearby, and something ran down the garden path. Beth nearly squealed. "Shh! It's only a mouse or something," said Joe. "I'll switch on my light now. Keep close together, and we'll see where we're going." In a bunch, they went down the back of the garden and into the little lane that led to the enchanted wood. Loomed up, big and dark. The trees spoke to one another softly. "Wish, wish, 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 wish," they said, whispering secrets to one another. The children jumped over the ditch and walked through the wood, down the paths they knew so well. The wood was full of fairy folk, going about their business. They took no notice of the children. Joe soon switched off his light. Lanterns shone everywhere and gave enough light to see by. They soon came to the great dark trunk of the faraway tree. A rope swung down through the branches. "Oh, good," said Rick. "It's Moonface. He's going to pull us up." "No," said Joe. "We'll have to climb up, but we can use the rope to help us. It's always in the tree at night to help the many folk going up and down," and indeed there was a great number of people using the faraway tree that night. Strange pixies, goblins, and gnomes swarmed up and down, and elves climbed up, chattering hard. "Where are they going?" asked Rick in surprise. "Oh, up to the land of Do As You Please, I expect," said Joe. "And some of them are visiting their friends in the tree. Look, there's the angry pixie. He's got a party on tonight." The angry pixie had about 8 little friends squashed into his tree room and looked as pleased as he could be. "Come in and join us," he called to Joe. "We can't," said Joe. "Thanks all the same. We're going up to see Moonface." Everyone dodged Dame Washalot's washing water, laughing at old Mr. What's-his-name, sitting snoring as usual in his chair. And at last they came to Moonface's house, and there was nobody there. There was a note stuck to the door. "We waited till midnight and you didn't come. If you do come and we're not here, you'll find us in the land of Do As You Please. Love from Silky and Moonface. P.S. Do come. Just think of the things that you want to do. You can do them all in the land of Do As You Please." "Gosh," said Rick, longingly, "what I'd like to do better than anything else is to ride 6 times on a roundabout without stopping." "And I'd like to eat 6 ice creams without stopping," said Beth. "And I'd like to ride an elephant," said Franny. "And I would like to drive a train all by myself," said Joe. "Joe, let's go up the ladder," begged Franny. "Oh, please, please, let's go." "Why can't we go and visit a really nice land when it comes?" "It's so mean of you to say we can't." "Well," said Joe, "well, I suppose we'd better. Come on then." With shrieks of delight, the girls and Rick raced up to the ladder. Through the cloud, a lantern hung at the top of the hole to give them light. But, lo and behold, as soon as they had got into the land above the cloud, it was daylight. How magical! The children stood and gazed around. It seemed very exciting land, rather like a huge amusement park. There were roundabouts going around and around, and in time to the music, and there were swings and seesaws. There was a train puffing along busily, and there were small planes flying everywhere, with elves, pixies, and goblins having a fine time. "Goodness, doesn't it look exciting?" said Beth. "I wonder where Moonface and Silky are." "There they are, over there, on the roundabouts," cried Joe. "Look, Silky is riding a tiger, and it's going up and down all the time. And Moonface is on a giraffe. Well, let's go get on too." Off they all ran. As soon as Moonface and Silky saw the children, they screamed with joy and waved their hands. The roundabout stopped and the children got on. Beth chose a white rabbit, and Franny rode on a lion and felt very grand. Joe went on a bear, and Rick chose a horse. "So glad you came," cried Silky. "We waited and waited for you. Oh, we're off. Hold tight." The roundabout went around and around and around, and the children shouted excitedly, because it went so fast. "Let's have 6 rides without getting off," cried Joe. So they did, and whoops, they were giddy when they did at last get off. They rolled about like drunken sailors. "I feel like sitting down with 6 ice creams," said Beth, and at once an ice cream man drove up and handed them out 36 ice creams. It did look a lot. Then Joe had divided them all equally. There were 6 each, and how delicious they were. Everybody managed 6 quite easily. "And now what about me driving that train?" cried Joe, jumping up. "I've always wanted to do that. Would you like to be my passengers?" "Well, come on then." And off they all raced, down to where the train was, stopping at a little station. "Hi there," yelled Joe to the driver. "I want to drive your train." "Come along up then," said the driver, jumping down. It's ready to go."